Hello, everybody. My name is Mickey Preventure, and I am a co-founder of Conscious Life Collective. And I have the honor today to introduce you to Julia Bernadsky and to Felicia Searcy. Julia is an artist and the founder of Untamed Hearts and the creator of the Messages from the Universe project. And again, I'm blessed to have her as a co-founder with me on Conscious Life Collective as well. Julia works very hard with energy and is guided by the light and are highly in tuned intuitions. But she's also a theta healer, which is something that I didn't know about her. All parts of the things that Julia does in her work come together in Untamed Hearts, where she creates beautiful and meaningful objects infused with energy. And the purpose of her work is really all about shifting energy and elevating consciousness, bringing together the worlds of the energy and beauty and consciousness and healing. And Felicia Searcy is, as mastery, is helping people to create the life that they love. Her purpose is her passion. It is to empower you to discover and express your best self as you create the life that you love. She is an award-winning transformational coach, an international speaker. I've had the honor of hearing her at our eWomen Network in Connecticut. She is an author and a minister who has helped thousands create a path for living their dream life. And for over 20 years, Felicia has worked with people from all walks of life who are seeking their spiritual side of success. She is a highly sought after international speaker and has shared the stage with powerhouse leaders like international speaker Mary Morrissey, founder of the CEO of eWomen Network, Sandra Yancey, and international motivational speaker Les Brown. Felicia's proven dream activation code will help folks just like you accelerate your results as you create a richer, more fulfilling life. And again, I have the honor to show you that these two today are going to share with you things that align so strongly with what a Conscious Life Collective is all about. And they have created an extremely special event for you all called 3 Keys to Become a Vibrational Match to Your Dream Life.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for introducing us, Mickey. And I just want to tell you a little bit about what to expect today and what is the inspiration behind this event. Why are we we were so looking forward to have this event together. So everything around us is energy, and there's no need for me probably to say it, but I just want to align it all with that thought that our thoughts are energy. Very powerful way of creating reality, manifesting reality. The thought energy is manifesting into our physical reality. Our words are extremely powerful because they are energy, and it's an energy that you can never take back. So it definitely creates the reality around you. It creates relationships with people, and it can build, create, or destroy. So we need to be responsible for that. Objects around us are energy as well. So in today's presentation, we will be talking about how energetically bring you into and all around you into an alignment with what you are creating in your life. How to use your environment, how to use objects, how to use thoughts and words to help create the match between you and your dream. And Felicia is the best person in the world to speak on the subject.
Thank you, Julia. I don't know if I'm the best person in the world, but I'm the right person here in this moment for this community because I'm here, right? And we're all here. So can I jump in?
This is it.
Okay. So I've really been giving this topic a lot of thought around, raising our vibration. And, that term, raising our vibration. What is it that we really mean by that? When we talk about raising our vibration and being a vibrational match, what is it that we're really talking about? I think it's really important to understand that raising vibration is an effect. It's the thing that it's the gauge to look at as to whether or not you are actually becoming the person that you want to grow into that's a match for your dream. So when we talk about raising our vibration, and Julia, you hit it when as we were beginning this process in our training today of really understanding that it's all energy. We live and move and have being in a field of energy. We are energy, and which means that we are vibrating at a particular frequency, right? And whatever that frequency is, it then is the organizing pattern for this invisible energy around us, which then creates our results. So then the question then becomes, so what determines our vibration? What determines our frequency? And you talked about words, our word choices then determine the frequency. I'm going to invite us to back it up even further than that, because our word choices are a reflection of something. And the thing that our word choices reflect, which then shows up in our vibration and even, beyond just our words, it's who we're being. It's fundamentally how we show up in the world and our state of being. It's the way in which we identify ourselves, how we see ourselves, the way we interact in our world. It's our identification. And when we understand that our world is a reflection of the way that we identify ourselves, then we understand that when we're talking about raising our vibration, what we're really talking about is building a different identification. And to go even deeper than that, what it really is a spiritual maturation. It's an evolution. Because if our vibration is the effect of who we're being, and we want to raise our vibration, then the thing that we want to do is then grow more into this even more magnificent version of ourselves that we are created to be. And the natural effect, the natural consequence of you growing more into the person that you are created to be is that your vibration raises and your world then reflects accordingly. So Julia, are we going back and forth, or do you want to jump in there, or
Totally. I would love to. Yes, and absolutely. For me, it's so I represent in this situation, right? I kind of bring in my work with Untamed Hearts, and every word that Felicia said is what is guiding Untamed Hearts to an existence, and it's all about who you are being instead of what you are doing. Right? So it's a big difference between being it instead of like embodying it, instead of manufacturing something, instead of having a to-do list that kind of looks like that, right? That dream or that.
Yeah, and it's understanding that the beingness will then inform the actions, and it will inform the way that we take the action. So one of the things that I help people understand is that the purpose of your dream is not to get things. And so your desire to want to serve with Untamed Hearts, it's a phenomenal desire, Julia, and it's an amazing work that you're doing. And the real purpose of that desire is to help you, help me, help all of us wake up into even more of who we are created to be. Because right now, every single one of us is a perfect fit for our current life. How do we know? Because we can look around and we can see our results. Our results are the perfect reflection of the vibration that we're vibrating at, right? It's we can see what we are attracting to us, and we can see our organizing pattern. We know how to do this life, and it's good. I mean, people that are watching this, we all have good lives, right? If we stopped right where we are and just kept it where we were, it's actually really good. But the thing about it is that we are these unlimited beings created with unlimited capacity. And the only way that life can wake us up to more of our capacity is to put these desires in our hearts. Because when we have a desire in our heart bigger than anything we've ever known for ourselves before, it's the requirement to be able to do it is for us to grow. So here we are, right? Perfect fit for our current life. Here's our dream. You know, your dream, Julia, to serve people with these, excuse me, amazing works of art. You know, my dream is to grow my capacity to serve people's dreams even more. So this thing that we have in the middle is the gap. This is the I don't want to say the disconnect, but this is the incongruency of vibration. This gap represents the incongruency of vibration, who you currently are and your dream. And so here's the incongruency of vibration. Now, what does it really mean to raise your vibration? And what is it that you got to do? Well, what it means is that you are willing to reach for that dream in a way that you never have, that you've never done before. And number one, you know what that dream is, because when people ask, when I talk to them about their dreams, so often people will say, well, I don't even really know what I want. Or they'll talk about a watered down version of their dream, not the thing that absolutely lights them up. And so when we're talking about raising our vibration, what we're really talking about is navigating the gap between where you currently are and what is it that you want to grow, or, what is it that you want to create. And the gap represents your transformation. That when we enter into that gap, what we are effectively doing when you raise your hand and you say yes to, number one, knowing what your dream is, and then number two, deciding for it, and you say, I have to raise my vibration, what you're really doing is stepping into that gap of transformation. You are effectively raising your hand to say, all right, transform me at depth. Now, if we really knew that that's what we were signing up for, we probably wouldn't do it, right? Because I hear people almost flippantly talk about, I just need to raise my vibration. I just need to raise my vibration. Not really understanding what is it that they're really saying. And when you say, I have to raise my vibration in order to achieve that dream, what we're really saying is, I, Felicia, you, Julia, I need to grow more of who I am created to be in order to be able to do that dream and make it welcome. So it's the process of growing my capabilities, my awareness of who I really am, my deep sense of well-being, my ability to step out in bold actions, to hold an awareness of it already done before there's a single thing that comes into my world to give me evidence, and to understand what's required to be able to hold that knowing, right? It's not just, well, here's the vibration, I have to hold it. There's a deepening in our sense of communion and companionship with an energy, with a power that's greater than us. And all of that is happening in this gap. And here's the kicker. The instant we start thinking something more expansively in the form of your dream, and one of the things that I encourage people to do is to work with the question, what would I love? Understanding that it is the most, if you want to raise your vibration, start working with that question, what would I love? Because that's your entryway into the gap. That's your entryway into this journey of really growing more of who you are created to be in order to be able to allow this new degree of good into our lives. So the minute you start working with that, there's something that rises up inside of us that's going to fight like crazy to keep us right where we are. That's in the and you would know this, Julia. I think it's in the Kabbalah. It talks about the holy opponent.
Yes, the opponent.
Our holy opponent is that resistance, right? Because it's in the act of engaging with the resistance and discovering more beyond the resistance that we grow. And as we grow, we're raising our vibration. So then we become a vibrational match. When I say a vibrational match, we open our hearts and we increase our capacity to receive, that we increase our ability to make it welcome. We have a deeper sense of worthiness, of deserving, of well-being, and all of those energies, which now we're moving and we're identifying with. Now we become that magnetic field. We become the organizing pattern for those things that we want, not only to come to us, but there's a constancy, there's a consistency. And here's the other mistake that people make, especially when we're talking about this topic, that there's an illusion that once I get these things, then I'll be okay. I need to raise my vibration in order to get these things, so I will be okay. We are not okay when we get the things. We're okay when we understand the process that created that success in the first place. So I'm going to stop there, and then I want to talk about, so what are the 3 steps to be able to do that? But I wanted to just lay a foundation first for us to really dig into this conversation. So what is it exactly that we mean about raising our vibration, and how do we do that? So.
Yeah, I mean, Felicia, I've been taking notes again and again. I always do it when you speak, because every time something like a different touch, a different angle shows up. And I love when you're explaining about this gap. And I think, yes, our work is in this gap, and the work of the opponent is in this gap as well. And the opponent's work is to go against, to create friction. And with that friction, we can go up, right? That friction is what allows us to almost earn that in a way. Like it almost gives us that muscle strength. We become that, and we own it. So it's lasting. So it's not just back and forth.
That's the thing. It's when we're pushing up against that resistance, the status quo, the part that says, just stay where you are. And especially your audience, Juliet, because all of us have got it good, right? And it's fun to be on this side of the gap where you're dreaming and there's possibility, and it's all in the possibility realm. It's when you enter into the gap and you really start doing the work that it's, I don't know that I necessarily signed up for this, right? And if number one, it's one of the reasons why you want a dream that you are on fire with, that absolutely brings you alive. So you'll stay in the process when that holy opponent of resistance, of the status quo, starts showing up. And to understand that what we're really doing when we're pushing up against it is that we're discovering aspects about ourselves. We're growing them. We're bringing them forward. We're deepening our sense of communion and companionship with the very energy that animated us. And our desire for whatever that dream is actually life inviting us into that deeper conversation with the very power that created us. And so it's raise your vibration is actually code for I'm transforming into this next, even more magnificent version of myself in order to be able to be the person who can not only achieve this, but be able to maintain it and to stay a match for it. It was really interesting. When we were living in Tennessee, my husband and I, we started a business. It was his business. He started it, he ran it, but we took the leap together. This thing took off. I mean, it just took off. It was breathtaking. There was like it was a franchise. There were over 500 franchise owners in the country. And within the first 2 years, he was consistently within the top 5 to top 10. And so we were experiencing a level of financial wealth, and we were practicing these principles. We were putting what I'm talking about into practice. Both of us were experiencing a level of financial abundance in a way that I personally had never experienced before. I grew up below the poverty line. I scrapped it out. Life was hard until I learned how to practice these principles. So when things really began to shift for us, one of the things that we did was that we invested in a house in a really nice area of town. It was one of those southern brick, tall, lots of trees, lots of space. It was more opulent than anything that I'd ever lived in before. And I can remember driving into the neighborhood, waiting for somebody to knock at the door and tell me I didn't belong. My identity had not caught up yet. My ability to see myself at that level had not caught up yet. And I knew I had been in this study long enough that I knew my work was for me to catch up even more vibrationally, to see myself as the woman who could experience that kind of abundance, that kind of wealth, that to know my sense of belonging and my sense of worthiness. And as I have grown that, then my experience with this just continues to grow. But that's the invitation. That's what is meant by raising our vibration. It's, what do I need to know about myself? What do I need to claim about myself? What's a quality that I now want to embody and express in order to be able to open my heart and make welcome the good that the universe, life, is seeking to express through me and for me and bring to me? And so, again, when we're talking about raising our vibration, those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about, that we're talking about. The question then becomes, what am I to know more deeply about the very source that created me? What does that power want me to know about myself? What does that power want for me? And if I really believed it, how would I be moving in the world right now? What would I be seeing? Where would my attention be going? And then it's, what's the conversation that I would be having? And all of those elements then add up to raising your vibration. And again, your world reflects accordingly. So I'm going to still myself there and let you hop in. Oh, you're still on mute. Oh, okay. All right. So while you're doing that, let me start getting into the 3 steps. There's lots of steps. I'm going to distill it down into 3 steps. When I do shorter trainings like this. So step number 1, and I think it's more of a preliminary step, really understand what is it that we're up to? What is it that we're doing? That, again, that when we talk about raising our vibration, that's an effect. That the goal is not to raise your vibration. The goal is for you to enter into your own transformation, which then leads to raising your vibration. It's like saying, I want to go to Hawaii, and so my goal is to get on an airplane. That's not your goal. Your goal is to get to Hawaii, right? Raising your vibration happens. That's like the airplane that will then get you to Hawaii. And what is it that you really want? You want the transformation that then is reflected in raising of your vibration. So what we're really after is your transformation. All right, so how do we do that? Number 1, start working with the most potent, powerful question that you can work with, which is, what would I love? You want to have something to inform your growth and your transformation. So when you really begin to work with this unprecedented power that every single one of us has been given, and Julia spoke to it so elegantly at the beginning of our time together, that our capacity to create, there's nothing more powerful in the universe than our capacity to create, our capacity to consciously choose images and rehearse them across the movie theater of our mind, realizing that that is the energy that you're now impressing into this invisible field. You know, our images and our feelings become the vibration. So understand that. When we understand that, then we come to realize that the most reverent mission in our life can be to learn how to grow our ability to intentionally direct our thinking. And the way we direct our thinking is with the most potent question that we can ask, which is, what would I love?
What do I love?
What would I love?
What would I love? Yes.
And I encourage people to go out, you know, think, you know, we're in a really, we're in a remarkably transformative time. And it's a time where a lot of people want to hunker down. And now more than ever, I suggest that it's important for us to think out, think further, think much further out. And so let's go a year. Let's even go 3 years. Let's go 3 years out. Not because it's a strategic plan, but because there's a part of you that's got an opinion about what you can accomplish in a year, especially in the circumstances that we're in. Maybe not so much in 3 years. So we're going to bypass that part of you that is really addicted to how things have gone in the past. So let's imagine it's 3 years. We're in a conversation. You're sharing about your life. What's the conversation you would love to be having about your life 3 years from now? I want you to think in terms of your health, your relationships, your vocation, how you're sharing your gifts, your talents, your capabilities, and your freedom in your calendar and in your checkbook. Really push the envelope and go beyond what you think is possible. Go beyond, you want to hit that point of that excited and scared to death all at the same time. That's the edge that's telling you, this is beyond my known. This is beyond what I, by myself, have been able to accomplish or what I think I can accomplish. So, first step, what would you love? So, Julia,
Yes.
3 years from now, what would you love?
So I would love to create a life where I have a dream. I have many dreams, but one of the brightest one where I have places in different countries, homes in different countries, and those homes are actually convertible into little hotels and centers for inspiring people, so that you can hold events. And I want it to be in different countries, and I want to do retreats in different countries. So I have this huge dream. And I love, Felicia, how you are teaching, where you're telling people that you need to zip yourself into the skin of the person you are becoming. And that alone, increasing your capacity of thinking creatively and to become a magnet, that, you know, you're going through that gap already as a person who's already there. And
yeah. So that's step 2, right? So step 1, design your dream. Put this amazing capacity to work intentionally, because it's working all the time, right? If we want, and this is the vibrational determination. What we see in our minds and what we feel with our bodies, that is the vibrational determination. So you want to get really clear, design that dream. So as Julia, as you're the woman who has a number of these places around the world where you're creating these amazing spiritual experiences. Now, here you are, breathtakingly beautiful, remarkably accomplished, and you're not the fit for that yet, right? And so there's the gap. So step 2 is part of this process of transformation is begin to imagine, who would I be as I've accomplished that? You want to start literally seeing yourself as that person. You know, you're, as I say, you're zipping yourself into the skin of the woman who already created that, who did that. The way that you do that is by working with a couple different questions. Number 1, if it all worked out, how would I feel? We have this remarkable superpower to consciously choose the way we feel before our world gives us permission. You can generate joy, abundance, fulfillment, gratitude. And here's the thing about that when we talk about transformation, the ability to feel feelings that are not necessarily congruent with what's going on in your work, in your world, that's spiritual mastery. To be able to feel gratitude in the face of really challenging situations. I mean, really deep gratitude. That's spiritual mastery. To be able to think creatively when our world is sometimes unraveling a bit. That's spiritual mastery. So what we're talking about when we're zipping ourselves into the skin of the person who did this, we're recognizing that that person grew in awareness, grew in understanding, grew capabilities, and grew in a deepening in a relationship with the force that animated us. And you can begin to imagine what that would be now. So if it all worked out, how would I feel? And then the second question to work with as you're zipping yourself into the skin of this person is, you know, that person brushes their teeth in a particular way. How does that person brush their teeth? How does that person drive their car? How does that person do this right now? Because the thing about it is that you're going to come from some state of being. We're always generating a state of being. You're either going to be the person who created your current results, or you're going to be the person who created your dream results, your future results. You can put that on now. What makes that so powerful, it leads us to step 3, which is activate your brilliance. When you start thinking from that higher way of being, your vibration is rising, and you now have access to a whole nother level of creativity, ideas, and opportunities that are always there. We just can't see them when we're functioning from this level. And so you literally start lighting up different areas of your brain. So again, questions to work with in order to facilitate this process. As you generate that state of being, and before we jump off of step 2, here's the other thing to understand. One of the things that you want to do is train your body to accommodate this new way of being, because your body knows how to do your current identity really well. It doesn't know how to do higher energy. And so you have to literally teach your body to be able to relax into higher energy. And you do that by, this is my new normal, this is who I am. Just really like breathing in these new energies into your body and supporting your body and recognizing this is now my new normal. As we do that, now we have access to those ideas and opportunities, and you have the boldness and the confidence to act on those new ideas as you are opening up and making welcome this new degree of success in your life. You know, and you rinse and repeat that. Design your dreams, dip yourself into the skin, what you're really doing is building a bigger believing, building a bigger identification, and activating your brilliance. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You are transforming, which means your vibration is rising and your world is organizing accordingly, and your results change. And the freedom does not come because you see your world changing. The freedom comes from understanding what the cause of the change was in the first place, that you did this. It didn't happen to you. It happened through you. So there you go.
I love that. And just one thing I just want to say is that what sometimes that opponent makes me feel smaller. It happens for human being. What helps me a lot to remember, if that dream is given to me, that I am the one. And it helps me a lot. And I absolutely love how you described it, Felicia. But I personally find that, like, remembering that, it helps me to enter that suit. It helps me to enter that way of reminding my body, what do I need to do? Or not need, what am I doing as that person who is already there?
Yeah, and one of the things that I really help my folks understand is that desire is not your desire. It's not our prayer to the universe. It's the universe's prayer to us in order to wake us up to even more of who we are created to be. Yeah. So it's to recognize the origin of the desire, that it's the universe's conversation starter.
Yeah, it's coming through us.
Yes, and for us.
And for us. I love it. I love it so much. And so much of it is inspired, like Untamed Hearts is inspired by it. So like the objects we create, the reason for it is exactly that, because they become this physical objects that have energy, that have story, and with your intention, they become those pieces that you can use while you're going through that gap. They become these pieces that remind you of that person who you already are, but you still need reminder, because we still, like, maybe today here, tomorrow here, but the dream is here, right? So as we're going through the process, like inspiration of Untamed Hearts is to create, to first of all, to initiate people into awareness that this exists, that you are the one to make a choice what kind of life you are going to have, what kind of suit you're going to zip yourself into, what kind of dream you're going to take on and say that this is the dream that I am going to manifest. And those are the 3 steps, for example, with Felicia's system. And I mean, we can do only that much within this short period of time, but I know Felicia has this amazing course coming up, and I hope you will share a little bit about that at some point today, where you can go deeper in each concept, because you can imagine if it was that simple that everybody would be doing that, right?
Well, and that's the thing, that it is simple, but it's not easy, right? And it's the rigor. It's really understanding that we are always communicating vibrationally. We can't turn that conversation off. And so, absent an intelligent design, the only thing we can do is resort to the default vibration. Our dream, our vision, is the new intelligent design that informs who we're becoming, which then creates the raise in our vibration. Yeah. So can I share what?
It's a great time to share. Yes, let's do that. It's a great time to share so that everybody can know how to find you and how to connect with that, more of that wisdom and teachings.
So July 24th, 25th, and 26th, so sort of right around the corner, I'm doing a full-on 3-day virtual event where we're going to go deep into what you heard today, really understanding what is this process of creation. And one of the things that, because you have a highly sophisticated audience, Julie. I mean, of course you do. It's because of who you are. And one of the things that my mentor has shared with me consistently is to really honor where I've come and to stay humble to where I have not gone to. And that my understanding of these laws today, it's not a match for what I want to create. If it was, I'd have it, right? I would be living it. And so to take a deeper dive into what are the cause of our results, really dig into what is coming alive for you in the form of your dream. Look at what are those resistors that pop up, and to give some very specific tools and some lots of experiences. It's going to be very experiential. The thing that I love about Zoom is that we really can get in there and do some deep experiential kinds of things to break down those resistors, and here's what we're replacing it with, and then come up with a plan of action and make some really solid decisions. So 3 days of myself and my team just pouring in to you for you and your dream, where you then have everything that you need to be able to then head out and just be catapulted out. That you'll have the tools and you'll have the information.
Yeah, and you have what I want to say. I'm doing this course, by the way, because I am creating that reality. And what I want to say to everybody is that we're not meant to do it alone. Having a community, for example, Conscious Life Collective that Mickey and me have co-founded together, course and many teachings that Felicia is creating, brings together a community of people who are aligned with that higher possibility, that higher reality, and helping each other. Like we all vibrating, right? But if we are all like our vibration is in tune, can you imagine what's possible in that space? The creativity that is being born, and people that create connections. And then like Felicia was saying earlier, that you don't know where it's going to come from. You just need to be brave enough to step into that gap and put on that suit, and just know that by teaching your body and your everything around you, being that person, the possibility and unusual, like unexpected, because you were blinded to it, opportunities will show up, proposition, partnerships. All of a sudden things open up in a way that your world becomes wider. It's not something that you just knew you don't know. It's something that you didn't know you didn't know. And so when you allow yourself, give yourself a gift to be part of these communities, all of a sudden you're creating reality where these possibilities are becoming reality. They're becoming not only possible, but strong, like they just exist. They just
it goes from possible to probable to predictable.
That's how you operate from that moment. So surrounding yourself with the environment, and we'll talk about environment in a moment a little bit more, but part of the environment, huge part of the environment, is community.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's the thing I'm so grateful for is you've done, Julia, is created a remarkable community of like-minded people who hold one another's dreams so reverently. And to have a community where 3 days you're immersed in with other people that are as deeply committed to their dreams as you are to yours. You know, whether you know it or not, you know, it's there's a deepening and there's a discovery, and to be in that community of like-minded people who are holding this process reverently, it's really quite something.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, when you allow yourself, first of all, to recognize your dream, right? To connect to it, then to go allow yourself to be brave enough, courageous yourself, but also allow yourself to go through this process, allow yourself to be maybe not understood by everybody, and that's okay, because you have something that not everybody has access to. But when you are going through it, you also allowing other people to maybe question it, maybe say, I want some of that, whatever that is. So you initiating. That's what Untamed Hearts does. We're initiating. We're teaching in a way. Without teaching, we're teaching by being, right? So you are allowing people around you, and very often it's your kids, it's your partners, it's your family, it's your teams, because that is what's very needed in the world right now. The leadership that comes from that perspective, the leadership that elevates. So like Felicia is talking about all of this in your personal life, but the same thing applies to corporations. The same thing applies to the world. So right now we're envisioning the world of the future with all the chaos going on outside. Our higher vibration, why we're doing what we're doing, we're creating higher vibration for the future of the world.
Absolutely.
And we're saying it now. So we are being now what the world is going to be in 2027. And it's going to be a very different world.
Yeah, it's, you know, the breathtaking thing about this is that as each one of us raises our vibration, we raise the vibration of the entire planet. I heard an analogy recently that just made so much sense to me. You know, if you're making soup or making chili and it's lacking something, you just take a pinch of salt and it completely transforms the taste, right? And it just takes a pinch. It's the same thing with really beginning to elevate our worldwide, our planetary existence. As one of us raises our vibration, the impact is just indescribable. It's like having that pinch of salt in this soup of humanity. And as we each make a commitment to raising our own vibration, which is spiritual maturation, is what we're really doing, right? And keep coming back to, we're really transforming and growing more in our spiritual awareness. We're impacting the people around us, and that we are literally raising the vibration of the planet.
Yeah, and it's contagious, I have to tell you. When I see a person who is doing that in their own life, it's contagious. So, you know, some people say like, oh, I'm jealous of you, right? So even like, I would never use that word, jealous of, not like in a good way even, right?
Yeah.
I would say it's contagious. I want some of that bug. I want my dream to be like that. So because I'm so happy for another person, but I'm giving myself permission for that as well. So I have my co-founder and partner. Mickey, could I bring you in for a moment? There you go. I just want to say that, like, for example, I'm just going to give you an example because people often say, like, would be very useful to hear examples. And so, for example, sometimes I have a day where I'm not like the best of me because there are things that are happening. So I have an amazing partner in Conscious Life Collective, Miki. She's my community. She's my partner. We're so aligned energetically. And when she sees me just slightly a little bit different, she is immediately right there. It's kind of like that community that we were talking about, having these people who know you as that person, no matter what is going on in the moment. So I have this person in my life right now, and I was asking for it. I didn't have it before. I was asking for that type of partnership. And all of a sudden, Mickey shows up. But I was like very intentional about it. So that's like a little example of like going through the gap. And gaps are like, it could be series of gaps, right? It doesn't have to be all, because it could be smaller. So anyways, like I wanted to say that, and I wanted to just explain how it is in my life in a very simple way, being connected with the community or a person or partnership or teachings. Felicia is my mentor, so like I can't wait to do that course, for example. And with that, I also wanted to bring us into conversation about, so there's a community, but then there's also your environment. There are objects in your life, very important as well. If you have clutter, in your environment, it clutters the energy, it blocks it. So I highly recommend to look at everything around you and relate to it energetically, vibrationally. Does that aligns with the process that I'm going through? Does that align with the suit I'm wearing? Does that align with me? That already exists. I'm in the process of like bridging this gap, right? Does that align with that? And so I just wanted to ask Miki, because I know like she tells me such an amazing stories with the objects that she owns from Untamed Hearts, because I'm bringing Untamed Hearts back here again because these are the objects that you can wear. Nothing comes closer and more intimate to your body as objects that you wear on your body, and Felicia is wearing it as well. And so when you can be conscious and intentional about what you are allowing to be on your skin, what are you loving, what does it remind you of, that's another step of having support, having reminders, and making things beautiful. Beauty is part of the process as well, right? So Miki, I'm gonna ask you if you don't mind to yeah.
I'm ready. I'm unmuted. Okay.
Yeah.
So Felicia is wearing my favorite, of course, right? And so a very short story about this is that at an event that we were at, Julia was the vendor, and she had this on, and she had one on the table. And I kept admiring it on Julia and saying, oh, it looks so beautiful on her, but it wouldn't look beautiful on me because I don't have the same structure. I don't have the same long neck. I don't, like I talked myself out of this piece. And the moment that the one that was actually on display was sold, my heart sank. And I knew right then that that was the right piece for me. And Julia proceeded to take this one off of her neck and put it down onto the display, just like I'm doing now. And the moment she did that, I ran over to the table and said, no, that one's mine. And what the circuitry, and I think that there are two circles entwined together even makes that more interesting, that the way Julia and my life have crossed. That was just the beginning of where we met each other, and almost a year and a half later was where our paths truly joined up. But my circuitry, I am very much about circuitry, as you can tell, because I have 3 pieces from the circuitry, but this one specifically has on the back lead from the heart. And it came into my life at a period of time where I was beginning to really step into a position of leadership in my business. And I wear that whenever I'm meeting with someone who I feel that I'm going to be impactful in their life. And it just brings me so much of the right energy at that moment. And then as I'm going through some challenges in my life recently with some medical issues, I actually bought this one right off of Julia's neck. This is the only one at the moment. And it says, you got this, along the side. I think it's down here. And just as I'm going through those challenges, wearing this one pretty much on a regular basis, with the exception of when I had the stitches in the back of my neck. But it just the vibration and the energy that these pieces, specifically with the words that they have on them, but also that word is just a reminder of that same alignment of energy. And, especially the connection with Julia.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I am so grateful for every word you said, because it also allows me to just talk at ease about, because people ask like, what do you mean it has energy, right? Because not everybody can conceptualize it. So we are physically infused, every object we create, with energy. It's kind of like you can paint the wall white or blue. You can put energy into objects. Now, objects, no matter what that is, holds the energy of the owner. So once we create beautiful things, a lot of this is jewelry. So each jewelry piece has a story behind it. And I'm just going to track back for a second before. For example, Felicia's necklace is circuitry. Sharing as you receive and receiving as you share. And that's so aligned with the work and the inspiration of what Felicia is creating in the world. and the support she's providing to people to get to the place of their dreams and embody it. And so when Felicia wears this necklace, and I don't know, Felicia, if how it is for you, how you connecting with it, but to me it's just like such an alignment. And besides the fact that I just love how it looks, I love it, has to be beautiful, but I can see that this just represents, and that's an intention. So for example, you know how when you going for an important meeting or for an interview, one of the first things, maybe not the very first, and one of the first things we think about, what are we going to wear? So the objects that we own, whether it's a jacket or jewelry or watch or necklace your mom gave you, a lucky ring, it holds the energy of the owner. So when you're going for an important meeting, interview, or anything that you are considering how the world will receive you, you will always have a thought what to wear. And one of the things that I know that people often do, they wear their lucky jacket, because that is the jacket that allows them to keep their back straight, and they know that something got their back. So intuitively, we're doing it all the time. Intuitively, we know how to use objects to help us elevate us to the place where we want, where we are presenting ourselves in the world, in the way we want the world to receive us. So we do it all the time by wearing this old watch that is completely out of style, but it's a lucky watch. Or my dad gave it to me, or my mom gave me that necklace that encapsulates all the love, all the things that she wants for me. And when I have it, my strength is just like I'm much stronger. I feel her energy. So it's not only me, she's with me. Sometimes people have like different objects that connect them to the creator, the symbols, or they are created them during the connections. For example, like I have this beautiful necklace that I love so much, and I did new moon connection wearing it. So everything that I wanted to create for myself in this month is encapsulated in this crystal, and I wear it very often. I actually put it on today, and I was like, okay, on every video I'm wearing this necklace, let me wear something different. So today I'm wearing the necklace from the new liquid energy collection. So liquid energy, think about it, with so many changes, everything that is happening in the world right now, one of the most important things is for us to be flexible, for us to be able to change very fast, to learn how to wear masks, how to wash hands, how to be very aware of who is next to you, and how are you navigating this world. And then with all of the other things, or how to treat, how to heal what needs to be healed, right? So liquid energy is a reminder to be flexible, to be easy to change, and not to allow our ego to break us, right? Instead, like the palm tree grows so tall because it knows how to bend, how to be flexible, and it grows so old without being broken. So this is a reminder for it. And I thought like, okay, I think this is perfect, because right now the world is all about liquid energy. So so this is the intention that, and then like different, I have so many different pieces, and like new pieces and not new pieces, but piece, each one of them, and they're reversible, they're flexible. Each piece has this intention, has this, intent infused into it. And then in your hands, when you are putting your intention in it, it becomes that piece, that reminder, that object that helps you to be connected to the person, or call forth that energy, that person that you are that you're saying I am, in that reality that already exists. You just need to bridge the gap. So work of Untamed Hearts is all about bridging the realms, of beauty, consciousness, spirituality, and healing. Because when we can elevate ourselves to that person that is living my dream, I am that person who is living my dream, not just has a vision of that dream. That process in my world also equals healing. That means that I did the work.
Yep. You become the organizing pattern, and the items around us, like you're saying, Julia, remind us and also bring forward energy that we're not even aware of. You know what I find fascinating? Henry Ford knew this. There's the Hindus have a principle. I think it's called himsna. Exactly what you're talking about, where the objects hold the energy of the person. So what he did with Greenfield Village, is that he went around and he gathered key artifacts and buildings and put them all together in one setting, like the bicycle shop of the Wright brothers, and Webster's home where he wrote the dictionary, and they're all in one place, so you can be in that energy of some of the most powerful inventors and thinkers in this country. And so it's the same thing that you're talking about, what we surround ourselves. And so I'm looking at the clutter around here. I need to get that picked up. It's been a busy morning, but in the work that you're doing in terms of really bringing our conscious awareness to that very physical three-dimensional piece, because we live in a three-dimensional world, and sometimes when we're in the spiritual conversation, people sometimes want to separate the spiritual from the three-dimensional, like somehow it's not spiritual, we're talking about the physical world. And Genevieve Barron wrote the book Your Invisible Power back in 1921, and she talks about how spirit is not complete until it is formed in the physical. And so you are reminding us of the completion of energy in the three-dimensional realm with your stunning pieces.
Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you. I love that. And again, like going back to what we started from, that we need to be a vibrational match with that dream. And that dream is what Untamed Hearts objects, jewelry could hold. It doesn't have to be, but it could be something that you already know or own. But we at Untamed Hearts, we're doing it consciously. So they hold your highest energy, and it helps you to bring that energy forward and call upon it at any time, because it is the environment that you create. So there's different things that we can look at, but in case of Untamed Hearts, and that's what I'm speaking on behalf of today, we created this one-on-one sessions with people where you can book a meeting with me, and I help you to find the piece that represent or you, with your intention, it will become that object that will help you to call forth and connect with your higher energy at any time. And I prepared a few pieces to show you, but I think I'm just gonna pick one. I'm just gonna pick one right now, because I think it's just so. If you're interested, if anybody's interested, just set up an appointment with me, and I'll be so happy to work with each one of you individually. And it's a beautiful experience. I guarantee everyone has an amazing experience, and you know how to find me, because if you are watching it on Facebook, you can just message me, or my online store is Untamed Hearts. So it's very easy to find me, or Julia at Untamed Hearts, and I'll drop that information. But I just wanted to show you this piece that for me, it's very special. Choose kindness. The it looks really cool on. I love it so much. But the engraving is choose kindness. And I think kindness is one of the virtues that is so necessary in the world right now. And so I created this to be a reminder, because sometimes the first person we need to choose kindness towards is ourselves. So by wearing this, not only that it looks super cool and you can layer it and it's like really great piece, but it is a reminder about how we need to be, not to do, but to be in the world, in relationships with ourselves and with people around us. And it all triples out. It all like becomes contagious. So virtue of kindness and compassion is a big work of Untamed Hearts right now, because just it's so needed in the world. And yeah, so this is pretty much what I wanted to share about that. And anything else that we might want to add? Or
Yeah, can I give the website if people want information about the event?
yes, please. I wanted to ask you, Felicia, because people will be asking us how to find you, how to work with you. Um, what is the big programs that you have available for people? If you can share about that, or maybe if there are some things that you do weekly that they can plug into as well. If you don't mind sharing that, how
Yeah,
can they?
so the way to get that information, I have a gift where, I walk through this process where I lay it out for you. You can go to free gift from Felicia. And then and now, also put you on my email list where it'll give you weekly information about what I've got going on. And if you're interested in getting more information about the 3-day event that I've got coming up, it's yourultimatelife.now.com that you can go. It's got all the information, registration link if it really speaks to you. But so those two things, free gift from Felicia and Your Ultimate Life Now. Thanks, Mickey. That'll give you the information about the event.
Amazing. I'm so excited. I think after everything that we went through, giving yourself a gift of doing that course for 3 days and going deeper into all of these concepts and experiences that I feel owe to ourselves, because we're alive. We owe to ourselves. It's our birthright to live our dream. Birthright. So
you think about 3 days. It's a drop in a bucket, right? 3 days of your life to come spend 3 days dedicated to really listening deeply to your own voice and inspired insight. It would be my honor to support this community.
Yes, so we have something very special going on. So happy to support you in any way that you find that is connecting with you. If you know people in your life who are not watching this video or don't know about this presentation, please share it with them if you think they will benefit or will enjoy listening to it. Because when we are sharing and making difference with people around us, we really don't know how far it goes. And it always, universe works. It comes back to you as well. So it works in a beautiful way. And I see people are commenting, and Elaine is saying, I'm excited to catch this on replay because she didn't join us from the very beginning. And Rita was asking, I don't seem to be able to raise my vibration, constant self-sabotage. No matter my initial enthusiasm, I can do this. Attitude.
Yeah, Rita and I go way back. Rita, come to the event. So that's as your former minister, I'm going to invite you. Just come to the event and come get immersed in this in 3 days, and let's shift that. Let's really shift the energy around how to consistently stay in that energy of knowing that the universe truly is here for you. So just in a nutshell.
Amazing. I'm super excited, and I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for every one of you, and you guys, whoever is watching it live or on replay. If you have any questions, we're here. We are available. We will make sure that we'll read all the comments and get back to you with any questions. You can contact us either through, actually, like really good way with the questions to contact us through like personal messages, if you like, or you can drop a comment below this video, and please share it. It's a beautiful thing to share. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Felicia, for being here.
Absolutely, my honor. Thank you for allowing me to serve your community in this way. Nikki, it was great seeing you again.
Thank you too.
You. Yes, and if you are not a member of Conscious Life Collective, you can just join. It's free and there's no questions asked. If you've called to, it means that you belong to it. So join us, and you'll know about our other events that we're creating. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.
Bye.